Welcome guys to a Summoner's War Chronicles video. In this video I will be talking about power and things you can do to get power without, swiping your debit card, credit card, whatever you have. And yeah, so let's get down to it. Shall we? I really like this. I like that they added this. You can take a picture and everything. It's pretty cool. But anyway, so if you've played this game, how do I get her to stand up? Okay. Let's do auto. Is it because of this? I think I'm legitimately stuck like this. Oh, there it goes. That was weird. This guy's pretty cool. So anyway, your power. So obviously your power in this game means everything. You can't really do half the stuff without having good power. So how do we go about increasing the power? So first of all, obviously finishing the story quests and then doing as many of these exploration quests as you can. You should be able to finish most of them except probably this, because then you get to all this other stuff that actually requires you to think. The rest of the story mode is just pretty straightforward. So that'll raise your power probably, I'm guessing, till around like 200,000 maybe tops. So that's one simple way to raise your power very fast, because you'll be leveling up your character and whatever. But that's something everybody knew. The Trial of Ascension, obviously this will help you raise your power even more. And then if you really want to start raising your power past 200, because I know once you hit like 220, 230, it starts to get pretty hard. One thing you could do is level up these towers. If you level up this one, which I believe is the monster one, yeah. So this will give your monsters a lot of free stats. This actually increases your power quite a bit, believe it or not. It's kind of annoying to farm because you have to beat the Spire of Ascension. Like, I haven't done this in a while, so I'm pretty low. But you see how it says 3 challenges. Once you beat the stage, the challenges unlock, and obviously you gotta beat the first one, and then the second one, and the third one. The first one will give you these coins, the second one will give you these, and the third one will give you this. And then eventually you'll be needing like all 3 of them. Sorry if I sound kind of weird. I'm kind of sick, but yeah. So obviously you can do those. Another great way to increase your power is obviously the raids. These two are just kind of something you have to do as a daily. I don't know why they made it so that like there wasn't a harder version of this guy or a harder version of this girl, but they're just kind of something like a chore that you have to do. Obviously they don't take very long, 9 seconds, 8 seconds. Really the hardest part is just running to the boss because you spawn in like an open area. This guy, however, is a different story. For him, you're gonna want to have at least 3 monsters that are okay. Really, they're not too tough. They're pretty easy as long as you play yourself and don't just stand there. You can move out of their way and stuff. So anyway, now the most important part, in my opinion, is monsters. And this is where things get pretty confusing for some people. So obviously if you play the old Summoner's War, you want to have as much speed as you want, but that's a whole different thing in this game. In this game, basically speed doesn't really matter. Like, it matters, but it doesn't really matter. Like, oh yeah, you see her first skill, it obviously doesn't do anything, so attack speed only focuses on the first skill. So if her skill doesn't do anything and it's not based off of speed, there's no point for you to have attack speed. I know I have some attack speed, but that's because I was building them how I would build them in the old Summoner's War. And I'm here to try to tell you not to do that because it doesn't help you whatsoever. If anything, it'll make you have less power than what you're actually supposed to have. So, the way that you want to ruin your units is you want to come to the skill section and then you look through their skills because the skills will tell you how to ruin your monsters. Obviously, this doesn't say based on speed, it says based off attack. But she's a support unit, so like she's not gonna do much damage anyway. Her multiplier is pretty low. Building her as a damage dealer is pretty much out of the question already. Her second attack, again, based off attack, but this time she puts a debuff on, so that tells you that you want to have some accuracy. So that way she lands that debuff. If you put accuracy on her, her power will increase more than if you put attack on her. Because that's just how this game goes. You want to build monsters and give them the stats that you think they would need based off their kits and their type, basically. Which, if you play the other Summoner's War, is completely the opposite because you could just put whatever power didn't really matter in that game. If you could swipe your credit card and buy a million Transcendent Stones and get 35 speed runes, you'd basically beat everybody. But in this game it's different, which is kind of enjoyable, but at the same time I think the power is something to get used to. Her second skill, again, accuracy, not speed. You could, I guess, put attack on her and she would do attack. I have her on attack just because. No reason. And then her third skill, this is where things get interesting because it's based off her max HP. I know it says it's max HP, which is kind of confusing. Well, at least it was confusing for me, but you know. So this just means you want to put a lot of HP on her. Like stack HP on her. And the more HP you stack on her, the higher her power will go. But since she's also a supporting unit, which means she's going to be getting hit, you also want to have good resistance on her, good evasion, and accuracy for her second skill if you care about attack down. I mean, it can come in handy sometimes, but mainly you want to stack HP and defense. So the way you would want to ruin her, if you use her for PvP, you could probably go full evasion. Let's see. Or foresight, I guess. So for her slot 2, you would want to, not attack speed, but you would want HP percent. So you'd want something maybe not as good, or I mean something better than this. Obviously this doesn't really have very good stats, but it has accuracy and a flat defense. So I mean, if you look at these stats over here, I guarantee you her power would be higher if I added this instead of this. And then for this one, obviously you can't get a percentage. You would want to get a rune that has probably HP percent. So crit damage, something like this would increase her power a lot, especially if it rolls to like HP percent. But yeah, something like this would be good. And I think that's the only one I have that would be good for that. This one. This would actually be pretty good for her because she needs defense to be tanky, survive, and it has HP percent. So obviously I have this. I think this is something I just put on because this is just what I had when I first started. But yeah, this rune would obviously make this a lot better. And something, I guess I don't have one for this. I figured I didn't. This way. This one, oh no, that's attack. Never mind. Accuracy, you could put accuracy in this slot if you really wanted to. For like Theomars and the rest of the damage dealers, you want crit damage and good crit rate. And then I think his skills aren't based off of speed. No, they're just based off attack, so you just want them attack. Yeah, his skills based off of frostbite as well, which he puts on if you skill him up. So he's just basically based off attack. He doesn't really need attack speed. I mean, the way I see it though is that if you build him with attack speed, he'll hit more times with this attack. So, he'll do more DPS technically. So he doesn't need speed, but if you build him with speed, you'll get a little more DPS out of him, which is always good. So you could always try to go for attack, decent speed, decent crit rate, and decent crit damage. Obviously, mine's not built great because I haven't really put time into it to try to build him at least. He works this way for me, and that's just how I have him for now. For Vanessa, she's just a supporting unit. I kind of have her messed up as well, but you just want to stack HP because she's a tank unit, so she's just going to be getting smacked the whole time. So you want to build her a lot of HP, a lot of defense, resistance. She defense breaks, so accuracy and evasion, obviously. So yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory. Basically, anybody who's supporting unit, you want to stack HP and resistance and evasion. A tank guys the same way, but these guys, the tank guys, you kind of want to focus on defense first and then HP because they'll get more stats off of defense, and I guess it'll help them more because they get targeted in arena. Like Theomars is gonna go after this guy before he goes after Bastet. Another reason why the monsters are very important for your power is because of this book. So I can tell you right now, 4 stars and 3 stars are not going to help you get the highest power you can possibly get in the game. What I mean with this is that if you go down to your 5 stars and you see how they have this number, that just means how many times you have pulled them, but it's not just that. It also means that you get a bonus. So basically, you want to focus on the 5 stars that you've summoned a lot. For example, she was a event summon, so obviously you probably have a lot of her, and she gives this bonus, which is flat HP and resistance whenever she's in your team, which makes her power higher. And I think it comes in handy here too. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure it does, seeing as her resistance is really high. So basically that's just gonna raise her power. That's free power that you should be getting. So like these where is it? These events, this event right here, you want to focus on doing so that you can get him as many times as you can, because the more you get him, the stronger he'll be. The Desert Queen event isn't here anymore, but we have the Sky Dancer event. This one's kind of hard to get, I'm not gonna lie. It's not as easy as this guy was, but you can still get a few Chisoons. She's pretty strong. She's a pretty strong unit. But yeah, you kind of want to focus on your 5 stars that you've pulled a couple times or that you've skilled up. I think he's wind unit. See, I don't have him skilled up for some reason, but he's at level 7. So if I would build him, he would have higher power than monsters that I haven't pulled multiple times, like this mermaid. She doesn't have a bonus, so her bonus or her power would be lower, and that's just free power. It's another gimmicky thing from this game. It's kind of funky because it just wants you to summon a lot. So focusing on those events is actually really important for you. And the way to focus on these events obviously is just to play the game, play all of these. The way I've seen that you can get a lot of points really fast is the Essence dungeons. I don't know if you want to throw in a couple points to it, because you get 80 for every 3 compared to the Path of Growth where you get 80 every 5. You can, if you really want to farm the events, you can spam this a lot, but I honestly wouldn't recommend wasting your points there. Just take the L and do the Path of Growth. Subjugation will help you with your power to a certain extent, but mainly for your heroes gear, you really want to do the party dungeons. You really want to try to focus doing this. The subjugation will help you get gear to beat this, but once you get to this, even if you craft your gear using the blacksmith and stuff, you're gonna have to get pretty far up there to even start to compete with like the gear that you can get from the dungeons. I know these have like a special effect on them, which is cool. So they might have like a upper hand, but if you don't want to, sit there farming that the whole time, the normal gear you get from Foggy can pretty much take you up pretty high. My summoner is decent. I mean, I haven't gotten anything good from Foggy besides like this hammer. This hammer was okay. This stat kind of ruined it. So you want to, obviously your summoner needs decent stats also because he's part of your team. So you want to try to get some decent gear for whoever you're using. And then another very important part that not a lot of people do for some reason is these monster gems. Or not monster gems, but just gems in general. They will help you a lot. I cannot tell you how much these gems help you. You may think like, oh, just monster health crit rate, but it actually helps you a lot, like a lot. So, if you get some of these stones, make sure you're putting them on. And you can put some onto your monsters as well. For example, I don't know if she has them because I just messed up her runes, but I think he does. You can put crit damage on them. These are just like the ones you get off the story mode. Obviously, I haven't really crafted many of them, but you can. I think it's black. No, is it alchemy? Yeah. So you can make like a crap ton of these and then go to okay, so if you come to this guy with a bunch of the level 1 gems you crafted, you can literally make them a higher tier. Obviously that's pretty expensive, but the lower tier ones aren't as expensive, and you can make like some decent like tier 2 or tier 3 gems to enchant your stuff with. That way you don't have to put like the lowest of the low and just hope for RNG so you get some decent ones. That should increase your power quite a bit. As for this, obviously this enhances your power a lot, and the only thing I can tell you is if you're not going to swipe your credit card and buy all the packs you possibly can to get a bunch of these tokens, then pretty much the best thing that I've found to do, I've reset this like 3 times, the best thing that I found to do is just go for the 2 monster trees first, because let's say that you buy this is just for your summoner, that's 1 person in your team, but if you buy this, it's for all 3 monsters in your team, so you'll get power for 3 units instead of just 1. So the way I see it is you get more power out of buying these 2. I've also tested it because I've had these 2 maxed out and like half of these, and the most power that I got was maxing the 2 monster trees out first. So if you want to get some quick power, this doesn't really change much, but it can be really helpful because this gives you quite a bit of power. So if you want to focus these 2 and then do these later, you can, unless you want to come here and buy a bunch of packs and get all of these and just power level yourself all the way, then you can do that. I haven't really spent that much money in the game. I'd say I'm probably like $60 in. I don't really like the packs. They're decent, but there's nothing crazy. It's nothing worth buying to me, at least. And the thing is, you also don't want to just blow your resources. Like, I understand you can get 5 stars. Like, you can get a lot of 5 stars really fast and really quick. And I know I have these awakened and leveled up, but that's just because I wanted to. It's a really bad idea when you're not using them for anything because you're just wasting resources, and resources are very limited in this game. So you don't want to do this, obviously. You want to just You can level them up because leveling up monsters increases this bar quite a bit for some reason. So power is something that obviously it's not gonna go away. If anything, everybody's power is gonna keep climbing up. And what you need to do is basically just focus 5 stars. I know some 4 stars and stuff are pretty good and they can get up there, but they're never gonna get as high as the 5 stars can, sadly. At least not for now. Maybe later on they will. But the 5 stars are the fastest and quickest way for you to get super high power. Like if we go look in the arena, I'm pretty high in the arena, so you see a lot of stuff like this. But you see they have the 2 nat 5s that you can easily skill up right now, and this guy, which is also pretty easy to skill up. So obviously a lot of the people also do the same strategy. Obviously you're going to see Bastet everywhere because she's easy to skill up, and it's easy power unit, and she's pretty good. Kona, easy skill up. But I think, yeah, so basically without 3 5 stars you're going to hit like a cap around like 350 370, I think, if you have obviously 3 5 stars. She's pretty good if you have her, and she's pretty easy to skill up because of her event if you farmed a ton of her. So obviously you're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see a lot of units that are easy to skill up right now because, like I said, they give you more power just because you have them fully skilled up. Let's see, most of these units are all the same. She was in the past, he was an event. If we refresh it, it's all going to be the same thing basically. Units that are easy to skill up. See, basically everybody's running the same thing, which is units that are easy to skill up. For Vanessa, she was the battle pass, so she's pretty easy if you use the pieces for her. But you can also use the Devilmons that you get in the arena. Make sure you guys are buying that Devilmon every week. My Vanessa isn't fully skilled up, I don't think, but she's pretty close. Yeah, she's pretty close. So obviously I'm focusing on these 3 units. I believe she's fully skilled up, and he needs 1 more. And then Vanessa needs a couple more. But like, you want to focus on 5-star units, as sad as that is. Like, you can focus on the other guys too, but you preferably want to have 3 5-star units that you focus on, if not for like just content. Because obviously the more power you have, the easier this stuff is gonna be, like Path of Adventure. Obviously the more power you have, the easier this is gonna be, because if you don't have high power, you just have lower units, obviously it's gonna get a lot harder. And eventually, if you don't have power, you get this penalty, and this penalty is like, you're not gonna be able to beat this stage. You're probably not even gonna be able to touch the boss before he one-shots you. With power, it makes this a lot easier because you get the bonus, so you deal more damage to him and he deals less damage to you. It makes it pretty easy to do. So I would say, you know, try to focus the 5 stars more. But like units like Konamiya, obviously really good unit, you should use it if you can. Tion, really good unit. Naomi, really good unit. But they're gonna be pretty hard to use in like dungeons that aren't for the element, just because their power is gonna go down. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want to use her for this anyway because she would get 1-shot, but you know, for like the hardest stuff, like the raids and stuff, you're probably gonna get kicked out unless you get, I believe for him you'll probably get kicked out unless you have like 350 and stuff. I haven't cleared the quest for him because I haven't really been very interested in doing raids. For him, you'll get kicked out if you don't have at least like 220. It's what I've seen. The people mainly get kicked out for that. And don't blame the guys who kick you out. I mean, I've joined some of these raids, and some people just really don't need to be there. Rupture. This will help your power out a bit as well, because you get these harmony essences. You want to transcend your summoner if you can. This will be super helpful for your power, obviously, if you max it out. Get some easy power, and then later on when they add better weapons, you'll be able to equip those weapons. I think for Transcendence 2 is when you unlock the 6-star weapons that you can equip them, something like that. So you want to do on Transcendence. These are pretty easy to farm. I would say you can just get them off the Rupture dungeons. I think this one is the one that's weird. Or is it this one? No, I guess you can farm them all. I know that there was one that was weird, that you can only farm here basically, but it has to be like level 10. I can't see it. I think it's the fire thing. Yeah, the fire one. The fire one you can only farm from like the path of training, I think, and the green and the black ones can be dropped like here, I think. Yeah, this is the green, and then this should be the black. Yep. And this is the red. It should be red, but I haven't beat these stages because I don't really like farming this, but yeah. So doing that will raise your power quite a bit. And then also your skill points. There's really no certain way for you to push your skill points to benefit you the most. The ones that I would say to level up are this row right here. Just in case a lot of you guys don't know, this skill increases your evasion, like your chances you can evade 3 times. This recharges that bar. This gives you 10 mana, and this makes your mana recharge faster, and this gives your ultimate faster. Those are just the ones that I found to be the most important, because the more mana you have, the more skills you can use, the more evasion you have, the more you can evade, and the faster this comes back and the faster that comes back, the better. You feel me? It's kind of self-explanatory, but I know a lot of people don't really know what to put the points in. But you want to farm as many points as you can. I think if you get your processing up, you can also, where is it? Is it processing or is it alchemy? It's alchemy. So if you get your alchemy to level 6, you can use these research log pieces to make skill points. They're pretty expensive at 15k each, but you can pretty much max out your character, and that'll give you a really big boost in power if you max out your character skills, like all these passives and stuff. They'll give you a really big boost. So if you want to get your whatever that was, alchemy, yeah, you want to get your alchemy to level 6 if you can. I know it's kind of annoying, but it's kind of something you have to do if you want to try to aim for 400k power. I'd say is pretty challenging to get. It's not the easiest. It's not too hard, but it's not the easiest. Another thing that a lot of people don't know is these costumes. You see this bonus they give here? This bonus isn't just for when you're wearing the outfit. It's always on. So as long as you have the whole outfit crafted out, you get this bonus. So you want to try to craft all of these. I know it sounds crazy because you have to do a lot of things for a lot of this stuff. But the more of these you craft, the more power you'll get, because they give you these little passive bonuses. And it's kind of crazy that they did that, but you know, they gotta add a different way for people to swipe their credit card, because I believe, yeah, these give you a bonus too. So, you know, if you want some quick power and you want to customize your character a little bit, you can unlock those. Those will increase your power a little bit too. Summoning will obviously increase your power if you do 10 summons. Let's just skip through these. Hopefully we get a 4-star light and dark. Come on. Give me a, I don't know, some cool unit. Alright, so you see how I just summoned all of those? Then you go to your monster book, and obviously by getting the passive skills that I was talking about, because I believe these guys have them too, see? By getting those passive skills, you're passively adding stats to your unit. So the more you summon, the more power you'll have. Technically, it's not really a big thing, but it's pretty noticeable, especially with these nat 5s, because they have some pretty nice bonuses. For example, this can increase your stats quite a bit. So, you know, obviously kind of a pay to win game sometimes. So summoning, they gotta give you something. So yeah, there's a lot of ways for you to increase your power, but the main thing you want to do, you know, is just try to focus a couple units. Don't waste your resources building your whole monster box. It's not worth it, like, at all. A lot of people have been saying to just farm a few sets, because you can switch them back and forth between monsters and it doesn't cost much. And don't over farm runes, because at some point, if you get some decent sets, you're going to be sitting in here forever and you're never going to improve your runes. I would say try to focus on a lot of other things before the runes, because they're going to add 6-star runes soon, and then all the 5-star runes you farmed are pretty much not going to be worth everything you wasted. So, you know, be careful with that. Try not to over farm. Try to get to where you can farm mainly everything. You're gonna need to do this a couple times to get good enough gear for your summoner to fight this guy. This guy will drop obviously the next tier up of weapons. These will increase your power by quite a bit. And then the next raid that they just announced is gonna have even better stuff. So you're gonna have to farm him before you farm the other raid. So they're kind of going down the line, you feel me? So you just try to get a team to farm this. Honestly, this guy isn't too hard. I would say that if you're really free to play, you should have Bastet. But if you don't, you can use Kona. You can use Shannon. And then you can probably use her if you pull her. I don't think they give you her though. But they do give you Lynn, which is the... Where is she? Where are you? The light archer. They do give you her, and her skills are based off of HP. So she'll melt those bosses down for you if you use Kona, Shannon, and her. If you get them up there, it should be a pretty good team. You kind of want to put attack speed on her though, at least a little bit. You want to put speed on slot 2, because this is based off the target's max HP. And if you look at the skill, well, I guess she's not awakened for me, so you can't really see it. But it's not based off attack, it's based off of HP. So you want to stack crit damage on her, basically. Crit damage and attack speed, that way she hits a lot. But yeah, that should be a pretty easy team for that. They're not really hard as long as you move out of the way and stuff. You could replace Kona with Tian if you think that your monster is dying and you need a reviver. Tian was also a free to play unit if you use the ticket to summon him. He's a pretty good unit. Kona is based mainly off HP. He needs some defense as well though, and obviously the other stats. And Tian, you kind of want more defense on him, because if you look at their skills, his heal is based off the target's HP, so it's based off your monster's HP, and Kona's heal is based off his own HP. So you want to stack more HP on him and more defense on him. And then Shannon, obviously, you just want to HP, defense, resistance, accuracy. Accuracy for her slot too. And yeah, that should be pretty easy. And yeah, I can't really think of anything else that I haven't said. I'm sure I missed a couple things. Either way, if you liked this video, if you found that it helped you even in the slightest bit, it probably, I don't know, a lot of you probably knew a lot of this already. But just in case you didn't, if you liked the video, oh, well, I guess that looks better than my character. If you like the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll try to do more videos of things that I know that can help you guys. Like I said, I'm not a very pay-to-win player, so I'm not gonna go and tell you, you know, if you want to increase your power, go to the shop and buy all these packs. Every time the Devilmon pack refreshes, make sure you're buying this. This is gonna be what carries you through the game. I'm never gonna do that because obviously I don't do that myself. Some packs that I do recommend you buy though, now that we're getting down to it, is these. These are pretty good value when you get a lot of crystals. These are all like pretty much free to play crystals. I think you can go here. You can see like I have bought some packs, but nothing crazy. Like usually I only bought the $5 packs and stuff that popped out during the story mode. And you can see that I don't really, most of those crystals that I have are free to play. You can come here because you can only use the crystals that you bought with packs here, which is stupid in my opinion, but you know, if you want to see your free to play, there you go. Basically, these are your free to play crystals and these are your pay to win crystals. Just in case you didn't know that, there you go. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. I also live stream if you guys want to catch that. And, you know, thank you for watching.